Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at some posts from r/TrueOffMyChest. Forewarning, they all look insane and scary today. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, get comfortable and enjoy. Oh, and don't forget to leave me your comments on what you think of these stories. I would really like to know other people's opinions on these. They're nuts. My mother hid my passport from me for 4 weeks before I go away. She thinks I can't find it, but I found it where she put it, and now I have it. So, long story short, my mother is a cyclic abuser, and she is in her abusive phase right now. I was looking everywhere, all over my home. I own it. She lives with me. Oh, so you're an adult. I was thinking like maybe late teenage phase where they really have a lot of autonomy, but then the mum was being a bit of a bumhole. But no, you own the home. She lives with you and she thinks she can do this. Kick her ass out. What are you doing? I was looking everywhere, all over my home. I own it. She lives with me. For my passport to get ready to go away in a couple of weeks, just to make sure it was good to go, etc. Couldn't find it anywhere, and the envelope I put it in under my bed was empty. So, when she was out, I searched through her bedside drawers, and lo and behold, my passport was tucked away in some of her papers, with her passport sitting on top of the papers. I took my passport, and when she came home, I asked if she'd seen my passport. She denied and denied. I said, I've looked everywhere and I can't find it. She asked, did I look in her drawers? Sarcastically, and I replied, no. Should I? Is it in there? She said no. Oh, what a knob. How crazy do you have to be to steal someone's passport before they go away? Luckily, I have it safe now, but I can't wait for her to move out. She's a nightmare. She's threatened to kill me, have me arrested, etc. She still thinks I've not found it. Thanks all so much for the advice, support, and encouragement. That is scary that she's threatening to do stuff like that to you. Definitely kick her out. I personally wouldn't have a thing to do with her after that. She sounds so toxic and so disgusting. Like, you don't treat your kids like that. I don't care if they're adults. You still don't treat your kids like that. Like, I just couldn't imagine ever saying that to one of mine. Like, no. Why would you want to scare your own kids like that? What a horrible, horrible woman. And then down in the comments, Total Maintenance says, but I can't wait for her to move out. You really think she will move out? Keep your stuff safe. Absolutely agree. You're going to have to kick her out, make her leave, put your foot down, get the police involved, tell them it's your house, you want them out, she's threatening your life, she's threatening this, that, and the other. Drama it up, girl, drama it up. Or boy even, I don't think you actually specified which one, so... Drama it up, my love, and make it, make sure that they know the severity of what it's like living with her. Because otherwise you're never going to get her out of your flaming house and you're going to have a nightmare forever. Then the OP replied, I really hope she will. Where can I keep it? I have no one other than one friend to keep my stuff, and I've given some stuff to him temporarily. I imagine that this was before OP then edited to add that bit where they said that they had hired a storage unit and lockbox and what have you. I've just smacked my microphone. Sorry about that. So I assume that's after that. Could you get a small safe that you could keep in your room? Some have the ability to drill them into the wall or attach them to something using a chain. Yeah, exactly. Anything you can get. And the less grip she has on you and your things, I imagine, the less she'll continue playing up like this, to be quite fair. My wife says she doesn't feel safe. For context, an accident 16 years ago resulted in significant hearing loss, and I wear hearing aids during the daytime. We've been married over 25 years. We were watching the newest season of Love is Blind, and I mentioned that everyone kept describing their partners as providing them with a feeling of safety. Our middle daughter asked my wife if she would describe me as making her feel safe. My wife's reply was, absolutely not. He can't hear anything. If someone breaks in here at night, we're all dead. Oh my life! Why would you say that to your kid? Oh my god. Wow. Tactful, OP's wife. My wife is very open and says what she is thinking most of the time. If your openness, and I say this in air quotations which you can't see, but if your openness just leads to people feeling sad all the time, you're not open, you're being an ass. There is a way to do tactful things and say tactful things if it really is a problem, and there's a time when certain thoughts just need to stay in your head. There is nothing more that I dislike than people who use the phrase, I'm just honest, and hide behind that veil of, I'm just so honest, as a way to just be a complete arse, to be honest. So there we go. Anyway, back to the post. I'm so devastated by this comment. Edit to add some more context. Thanks for all the supportive comments so far. 1. We do have dogs. They bark. I don't hear them. I swear I swear a mouse fart in the basement wakes her up. Our room is on the 2nd floor. 2. When talking about our kids as babies, she quickly brings up that I never got up in the middle of the night because I slept through the crying. Well, of course, because you couldn't hear it, but it didn't mean she couldn't tap you on the shoulder and go, love, do you mind dealing with this time? How hard would that have been? I did get up, although I constantly told her to wake me up. It wasn't an issue, and she repeatedly said, no, you have to get up for work, and I don't. So yeah, what's she on about then? 3, pretty sure it wasn't a joke. There was no smile, grin, sly look, chuckle, like when she is usually being sarcastic or joking. Plus she responded very quickly, which is normal when she says whatever she is thinking. Yeah, I'm not getting good vibes from this wife, to be honest with you. The way that she's using against you, the fact that you couldn't hear the babies crying as if to make out that you were lazy. And you said, you know, just tap me awake and I'll deal with it. And she said no. Don't like that at all. So then in the comments, Smooshy99 says, I mean, my husband has perfect hearing, but his dead asleep ass would be useless in the middle of the night. I'd be right beside him getting murdered and he'd just say he's resting his eyes and start snoring. Yeah, do you know what? Again, I've said this before in like past videos, but men sleep like they are not with us anymore. I don't understand. I would love to have a sleep so deep and unawakening like that. Like, oh my God, give it to me. Like, how do guys do that? You could drop a building next to most guys that I know and they would not wake up. And I don't think it's fair. And then Avocado Aficionado says, same, lol. The funniest thing is I can wake him up and he'll make some noise, turn over, even talk to me in full sentences, but he'd still be asleep. One time I woke him up to ask him to scooch over to the other side because he was taking up half of the bed. He grunts, turns over to me and starts stroking my arm saying, shh, it's okay. It's okay. And insert loud snoring. I think I'd have laughed and then hit him with a pillow. Okay, so before I even go on to the next post, big trigger warning for talk of ED and fetishization of said ED. So if that is something that you can't mentally cope with, feel free to skip ahead, click off, whatever you need to do. Okay, my wife is an ED fetishist and I'm done. I never thought I'd be sharing this, but here I am. I'm 40 years old and my wife, Lena, is 34. I've spent most of my life struggling with an ED, and it started when I was just 7 and consumed my adult years. I never really dated before I met Lena. ED just killed my social life, it seems. I had no motivation to date either. Many don't know, but this disorder absolutely destroys your S-drive. I felt drawn to Lena from the very start. She was confident, outgoing, and she loved everything that was smaller, like me. At 5 foot, nothing. I was always the shortest guy in the room, and I thought her attention was a blessing. She's the only woman I've ever met that found this attractive. Oh yeah, the red flags are already here, aren't they? I don't like where this is going, not one bit. When we first started dating, Lena was obsessed with my body. I remember the way her eyes lit up whenever I lost weight. She would say things like, "You look so delicate, so beautiful." And I felt flattered, even when I knew that I was severely underweight. Her admiration was intoxicating, and I felt so desired for the first time in my life. Lena would encourage me to restrict my eating, always excited when I share how little I'd consumed, and I still remember how she'd praised me after I starved for days. "I'm so proud of you, baby." This is disgusting. She'd say, and I felt like the happiest man alive. No, this is making my back itch. This is disgusting. Like, I know that the whole thing now is that we don't K-I-N-K shame, but I think there are some that need shaming, because making somebody do something, or manipulating, should I say, somebody to do something that is so detrimental to their health and their mental well-being is disgusting, disgraceful, and should never, ever, in a million years be accepted. Not at all. So, back to the post. At some point, I got hospitalized again. The doctor said that I had a week to live. It took every ounce of willpower to choose recovery, and I finally began to gain weight and strength. As I healed, something shifted in our relationship. I was no longer the fragile figure she admired. Oh, something's just occurred to me, and I don't like it. Is she supporting this? Because her wording that, being delicate, and I imagine that's something she said to him about being delicate, kind of screams pedo. It really does. Anyway, we'll read on. I was becoming healthier, and with that, I sensed her excitement waning. Then I discovered that she had cheated on me. I found out by accidentally checking her texts one afternoon. I was horrified. She cheated on me with another person with an ED. The girl sent her multiple nudes, and my wife complimented her just the same way she did with me. But this isn't the worst part. When I scrolled all the way up, I found out the girl she was chatting with is literally 18. Oh, yeah, see? See what I mean? She was cheating on me with an effing child. I imagine a lot of you will say that she's 18, so an adult. There is nothing wrong with this. But I feel like if lower was legal, she would go lower. I was disgusted. Yeah, I always say, if you're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, you have no business going with anybody who is a flaming teenager. Like, pack it in. No, just because they're 18 and technically an adult doesn't mean they are. Men, and, well, I'm not sure about women, but I know men for sure don't reach mental maturity until 25. And they're still not fully mature. I think there is still a certain amount of maturing that goes on up until their 30s. So no, they're not emotionally mature enough to consent to something like that, I don't believe. But that's another tangent for another day. I could really get on my soapbox about that, so we won't go there. When I confronted her, she didn't seem remorseful at first. Instead, she claimed, I have issues. I'll work on them in therapy. I'll try to be attracted to normal bodies. Yuck. What an arse. In the bin with her. Sin bin at that. The one that's on fire. Those words stung more than I can express. It was a harsh reminder that her attraction had always been tied to my illness, not to who I was as a person. That's when we broke up. She tried to tell me that I'm ridiculous and that no one will ever love me like she did. Good, because I feel your love is a death sentence, my dear. But I didn't give an F anymore. Even if she apologized, I would have left. I'm not going to date a woman in her 30s who wants to F teen in their 30s. See what I mean? In their 30s. Ugh. Who wants to F teenagers with a deadly disorder and likes me best when I'm starving myself. Absolutely. Here, OP. I'm so glad you got out. I really am, because I feel like this is a marriage you would not have survived, unfortunately. Okay, so down in the comments, Vivid Farms 6291 says, no one will love me like she did. Who wants to literally be loved to death? I'm so glad you are free from this disturbed person. Congratulations on getting better. And then a reply to that comment says, yep, I don't know anyone who would want to be loved into a grave. Exactly. OP, I'm sorry you went through this. You deserve to be happy, healthy, and loved. Keep looking after yourself. You will find someone deserving of you one day. Yes, exactly. And someone who's going to support your wellness and not your illness. Exactly. You deserve someone who will celebrate your life with you, OP. And then another commenter said, one could argue Hannibal Lecter loved people too. Some people's love is shitty. And the posts aren't getting any better after that last one, I do apologise. So next post, my husband got a B job from a stripper at his brother's bachelor party. Background from my original post. My husband got a B job from a stripper during his bachelor's party. I found out a few days later because he sent me a text about it that was meant for his brother. Idiot. Oh, I'm so glad the idiot did that. My husband left for work early to come home and delete it from my phone, but I had already seen it. He played it off and told me nothing happened. A few days later, his brother got married, and after the reception, my husband told me what he had done with the stripper. The day after the wedding, he said he was making up nonsense because he had too much to drink at the reception. Oh, so it's just going back and forth, back and forth. Several days after the wedding, he came to me in tears and confessed that it was all true and that he did get mouth stuff from the stripper. He tried to blame it on being drunk, but he later admitted that he didn't drink as much as he pretended to and wasn't really drunk at either the bachelor party or the reception. This guy is flip-flopping like a flaming fish. Jeez, my goodness. What an idiot. The best man had apparently kept the room away from any shenanigans from the strippers. The best man did not drink anything since he was the designated driver. The other men at the bachelor party, besides the groom, the best man, and my husband, were single, so they were not cheating with how they acted with the strippers. I was pregnant when this happened. Douchebag. Absolute douchebag, man. I hired a divorce lawyer after my husband confessed. Our divorce was finalised 11 months ago. My ex-husband and I alternate weeks with our son. He is 19 months old now. There was a lot of discussion in the comments of my original post, divorce law and my ex-husband being at fault. However, in my state, divorce is purely no fault, and the court does not consider fault in the division of assets. Those are divided 50-50. I was ordered to pay alimony since I earn twice what my ex-husband does. Oh, no. I have 7 more months of alimony payments to make. I am an actuary, and my ex-husband is a carpet installer, and the law was clear on how alimony works. My ex-husband did not have overnight visits with our son until I stopped breastfeeding, and leading up to our son's first birthday, we slowly transitioned to overnight visits. Once we worked up to alternating weeks with our son, I began to pay child support. I do admit that although my ex-husband was a terrible husband, he is a good father. We are co-parenting amicably, and don't bring up the past. I think that's definitely a good thing that you are co-parenting so well together, especially after the flip-flopping betrayals of him and the fact that you had to pay him alimony. I bet that just stung so bad. Because, my God, does he not deserve it? I don't regret getting the divorce. I wanted to post an update to thank everyone since I received so much support in my last post. And there were too many comments to reply to individually. Yeah, I wouldn't regret it either. I completely am with you on that one. I bet you feel free as a bird now. So, down in the comments, Rainbow Peach says, it sounds like you've been through a lot, but I'm glad to hear you found peace with your decision. It's good that you're co-parenting well and moving forward. And then UCSD Phoenix says, co-parenting can be tough, but it's great to hear that you're prioritizing your son's well-being while navigating this difficult situation. Yeah, exactly. Like, I co-parent, I am a single parent, and it's tough at the start. A lot more so because you kind of don't want to let your kid out your sight because it's not a natural way to do it, especially, you know, us mums, we're told that our kids should be with us 24/7, you know? And then we kind of have to just send them off with their dads. And that can be really disconcerting at the start because it's drummed into you on how you should never be without your baby. They should be with you all the time. But it gets easier. And you learn to love the time off as well because single parenting is hella hard. So when you have a co-parent that will actually have the child and you can then go and have your own time to yourself, it's kind of nice once you get used to it. Don't get me wrong, you miss your kids, but oh, that break, and it does the world of good for you as a parent as well. Okay, next post. I found out why my boyfriend left me. We dated for 6 months last year, and I fell fast and hard. He broke up with me. I asked him if there was someone else, and he said no. While we weren't together, I did some digging and found a girl he followed on multiple of his social media accounts. She was his type to a T. She looked nothing like me. I am mad because I just read ahead. And I'm mad now. Like, why? Why, OP? Why would you? We're back together now and have been for 7 months. Why would you take somebody back that you thought had a bit on the side? Please, nobody do this. I know you feel like you can't go on your own and be by yourself and that you don't want to be, but believe me, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Honest to God, just don't do it. Ugh. I finally asked him about who she was the other day and he told me she's the reason he left. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but what do you mean you didn't think anything of it at the time? Oh, OP, open your eyes, come on, please. But now I can't stop thinking about it. He told me after he broke up with me that he went out with her a few times but didn't like her. He broke up with you for her. Please take some pride in yourself. Do not give these disgusting people the chance to use you like this. He's taken you back because she hasn't worked out and now he doesn't want to be on his own. So he's using you as a filler. That's what he's doing. I can't stop thinking about how he must have found her prettier than me and liked talking to her more than me. It's making me sick to think about it, and he's trying to get me to talk about why I'm upset, but I can't. I'm the one who went digging and who asked him, knowing he would tell me the truth, not knowing he was driving me insane, but knowing is driving me insane too. I should have just minded my own business. This is not your fault. This is his fault. Like, no. Oh my goodness. Let's go to the comments, hopefully for some truth bombs, because I feel OP really needs them. So, yep, that didn't do it, says, word of advice is unless a breakup is over a misunderstanding or circumstances forcing you to separate, then you broke up for reasons. Nothing is more draining and anxiety provoking than an on again, off again relationship. Yep, absolutely. Getting closure is also overrated. Exactly. Because let's face it, he lied before, he'll lie again. You will never know the full truth, and that's just how it is. And then Cal Rastia says, yes, this. I have a rule for myself that all breakups are permanent, and breaks are breakups. Yeah, that should absolutely be it. And don't get me wrong, it's easy to do when you're young. It's easy to go, oh, I'll take them back. I don't want to be by myself. Believe me, it's better to be by yourself because they never work. Those relationships never work out. They just don't. Or you're left in a spiral of being on again, off again forever and ever, and you're miserable. Then Switch Emo says, this is a great rule. I had it myself. I've only broke it once for my ex. Well, they're my ex, so you see how great that worked. Exactly. It still doesn't work out. If you break that rule and get back with an ex, there'll be an ex again at some point. I remembered why I had this rule. This and long distance, but that's a personal preference. And then Bean Callow says, it wasn't sexy once it wasn't forbidden. Applies to closure and explanations too. Precisely. Put him in the bin. So other than that, thank you very, very much if you've made it to the end. I appreciate it very much. Feel free to give a like and subscribe so you can find your way back because I do post every single day. Other than that, I hope you have a really good day wherever it is you're doing, and goodbye.